Well, welcome back there. So here we are, working on this 1969 Ford Bronco. Whoosh. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, so basically where we're at here is I got this little taillight housing piece all tacked in, fit up how I want. Old thing cut out, inner structure replaced, all of that. Started welding it. Took my time as I was going around welding. Didn't make any video of that, but basically had 3 patches set up to go excuse me, to go weld, to be able to skip around, keep heat cool so I didn't warp any panels. I finished welding the other 2 before I finished welding this. They were pretty small, other than one was very large, but one was just this guy right here. I patched the outside of the roof, so I patched up that little inner structure, got that production welded out. And then new floor pan in there in the driver's side. So the black obviously is the LNC truck panel, where I cut out the old floor, welded that in. So I've got a fair amount of this taillight housing welded up. I'm gonna continue welding on that. And then now that I'm done welding that other stuff, to skip around on heat, I'll jump to grinding. I weld flush on the other ones where they're butt welds. Just how they all are. So start getting set up here. I got the welder already running. Again, the name of the game here when it comes to welding stuff in like this is keep it cool, right? You don't want to warp this stuff, and you get it hot, you're gonna warp it. So a lot of different rules of thumbs of how you want to judge that. For me, I just go cool to touch, not necessarily bare hand. If I can feel it through a leather glove, definitely at the point to stop and move on to something else. So that's why I've got the other, panels in a spot where I can jump over, work on them, start welding on them. Again, not a professional welder by any means. Say I'm closer to a professional grinder than I am a professional welder. It's kind of like that saying, if you ever work construction, caulk and paint will make you what you ain't. Same sort of thing here. Grinding will make a welder that you ain't. So we're just gonna weld this up. I've got my body lines good how I want, and then we'll start grinding flush. When this gets hot, I'll jump over the floor probably because that's the most amount of weld, and grind on that a bit. Again, just gotta get this all good enough that a little bit of mud will cover it. Don't want to just go crazy. Trying to keep as much mud out of this as I can. Watch your peepers, don't get blinded. Same sort of thing. Everybody has different theories on how to weld these in without warping them. Do like an inch back step weld where you're just working your way around the thing, or however you want to do it. I basically just throw all my tacks in and then start building off of my tacks. So that way I'm skipping around at least a bit. Trying to get where I can see all this well. Slide on over here, do some welding over here. Some people even sit there with like an air chuck and air quench this stuff as they're welding to keep it cool. You can do that. I just don't. Dealer's choice. Whatever rolls your tire, floats your boat. Starting to get a little hot in spots. I'm not really doing the best job at skipping around here. Like I said I would. This is one of those, do as I say, not as I do. Ain't seeing nothing. Okay. Yeah. Just gonna close them. Close the eyes. That hood does not work for welding upside down, if you know what I'm saying to you. So now I'll kind of start checking my piece a little more closely, see how the heat's building on it. A little warm down at the bottom, not too bad at the top. Let's say we can do some more up here. Not bad for blind. Putting the hood back on so I see what I'm doing on this spot. Like I said, not the best welder. Some of this too, I might be getting some small pinholes, stuff like that, but once I grind it flush, I'll be able to see all that. Now, that was a pretty aggressive pass around this thing, I would say, as far as heat input goes. Yeah, it's not hot, but that is warm. So now we're just gonna jump over and do a little grinding. So I just got a flat disc on here. Sandpaper, you're grinding, you're sanding, whatever. There's some spots of these in between the bead rolls that are in the panel where I'll hit that with like an actual hard wheel grinder. But for doing just flat, this will be fine. Now, same sort of principle here as the welding, right? You don't want to just sit in one spot and hog out the weld, because you can warp a panel from this, right? It's not the welding that warps the panel, it's the heat input that warps the panel. So grinder in will do it too. So now if we jump back over here, it's already cool to the touch. So that's the name of the game. You just keep working your way around. That's why, like I said, when it comes to welding, I like to keep, multiple patches available to weld ideally. Something to occupy your time so you don't get frustrated, bored, in a rush, and just sit there and blast this thing away into the heat. Where all do I still need to weld? I need to weld right there. And over here, I'm not a good singer, I don't know what I'm trying. Not too bad. See, now I'm even back myself into more of a corner because I've got pretty much this top piece done. And I've got majority of this side done, but I've got a lot of weld to do on the underside. Because that spot, I've been actively procrastinating, let's just say. Those of you out there that are probably like actual welders or body guys are just like, man, this idiot. The whole point of this is to show, get out there and go work on your stuff. If I'm out here working on this, so can you. You can get out and build that thing. Don't let a little rusty panel stop you. Oh, that is not good. I am seeing some major dentage that is hammered. I don't know how well you can tell, but my goodness, that is just rough, especially as you get down lower into this rocker panel. I've got to replace this rocker panel. I don't know how well you can see it from up there, it might be too high, but it is just, the rocker panel's gone, nothing left, but man, this, not a good surface. There ain't a smooth spot left on it. Oh, okay. Throw some welds down here on the bottom. Now, actually, down here on the bottom, my piece came out a little gappy. So there's actually a backing strip that I cut that's, an inch wide or whatever that runs on the back side of this seam. So I'm welding this bottom side up, and then on the top I'll go steel weld around the edge of the backing bar. So this bottom's going to take a significant amount of time to weld, which is kind of why I've been putting it off as long as I have. I don't know why you'd think you would start with the spot that's going to take the longest to weld. I think it was mainly because I had the floor to weld, and so I was, that's a lot of weld that adds up, a lot of linear inches of weld. by the time you go around the whole perimeter, do the spot welds in the structure. But that backing strap helps where I had it a little gappier, so I'm not just fighting blowing holes. As well as it stiffens the panel up just a little bit, because there is some inner structure that is there, so I tied it into the inner structure and everything. Yeah, I can feel myself getting a little aggressive on how much heat I'm putting into the thing. I know. Even so, still fine, just warm to the touch. So you know what that means? It's time to go get grinding again. So I'm gonna jump back on that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Again, this is just strictly to go motivate you to get out and go do it. This is just showing some of the process of what it looks like, right? If you're curious, I'm running a Lincoln Weld Pack 140 model. So it's a pretty cheap, inexpensive model to go get. They sell it at like Home Depot or Lowe's, whichever one carries Lincoln brand. But it just runs off of 110, so you don't got to go rob the 220 dryer outlet to run a 220 homemade extension cord out to your shop to go weld, or the driveway. I got that welder before I built this shop and had 220 and everything else. So it just gave me a little bit of versatility to it. I was doing some weld jobs on the road. And it's been a great little machine. It does just fine for this bodywork stuff. It's got a bottle of 75-25 on it. You know, so it's got gas. It's just MIG, super easy. If you can pull a trigger, you can weld, is essentially what it comes down to. Don't be scared about those rusty, rotten panels when you go to look at a car. It is not that hard to go do this stuff. Now, obviously, it depends on how straight you're trying to get something right. The more work you do on body work to get everything lined up just right, the less mud you're going to put in the car, the less time you're going to spend sanding on it, a cleaner end product, as well as if you're trying to make car laser straight, you know, then it starts to become a big time suck of how many hours you're going to go put into this thing. So this is just a home built car. You know, it ain't a full tilt show car. It's just going to be nice enough that you can stand back and look at it, and it doesn't look like trash, is what we're going for here. I mean, this ain't actually mine. This is somebody else's car that I'm doing for them. So that's more the standard I'd say I would like to do. This, I'm doing a little bit better job because it's not my car. I don't want him or anybody else to go look at this and go, who built that? Well, Austin did. Man, his stuff sucks. You know, trying to avoid some of that. So I'm making sure it's coming out pretty good. Again, he doesn't have an endless budget either, hence why I'm doing it instead of a pro shop, right? You go to a pro shop, you're going to be spending a ton of money because it's a lot of time to go get this right. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can get out and you can do this stuff and slap it together and get it good enough to go slap some paint on and make it look good. Or, if that's your flavor, you can do the old patina. A lot of people love the patina stuff. That's mine. That's a 29 Model A pickup on a mini stock chassis, circle track racing stuff. And it's got, you know, some body work that's exposed on it. You can see it's got lower door skins welded in, and it's just left that way and patinaed, and it's a cool truck. I can run in, hop in, drive, and you don't got to worry about a door ding or getting keyed or anything like that. You just go beat on the thing and have fun and get it out on the road. This one's going to be a little bit nicer now, obviously. It's going to be a painted car, so we're going for a good finish. Anyway, stay tuned. Play more where this comes from. I got a lot of body work left to do on this. I got to do this same patch panel on the passenger side where I still got to cut it out. I still got to probably do the inner structure on it. Get the new LMC patch to go in it. I got to finish grind and flush. The floor, I got to do inner and outer rocker panels on both sides. It's got a bunch of broken off seized bolts for the door hinges and the door posts. So I got to go get those seized bolts out, potentially replace nuts on the back side, and do some of that. I've already done a fair amount of patch panels, inner fender structures on both sides, driver, passenger, front. The front's all put back together. It's still got to be bolted and stuff and lined up. But I got to do those bolts so I get the doors hung back on it. A little bit of shaping to do left on the roof. I got the rear interior stuff all set. So let me know down below, is any of this stuff interesting to you guys? What would you like to see more of this process of patch paneling, or of this car specifically? What would you like to see more of? Any of those patch panels of, hey, I got an early Bronco sitting in my garage that I've been sitting around on forever and I need to do rocker panels on that. So make a video on rocker panels, please. Other than that, as always, please give the thumbs up if you like the video. Comment down below. Love to read it. Love to chat with you guys and know what your guys' thoughts are on this. How do you want the content changed? What do you want it to look like, sort of thing. Kind of toying with this to be entertaining, educational, motivational, all that stuff. And subscribe so you know when the next video is coming out to you. I got a bunch of work left to do, so I'm going to start getting after it, pouring some heat in. Not too much heat, though, just the right amount. Thanks, guys. Well, real quick, I know I already said it was the end of the video and said all my farewells, but I just wanted to show you real quick. I got this patch all done, this taillight patch we're doing. So you can see there, it's all ground flush. Work around here. Ground flush down the side here. I know I'm upside down, but yeah, that is done, welded in, taillight housing patch. Some, you know, unsmooth spots where it'll use some filler to cover it in, but yeah, it's a lot better than what it was when we started. Where'd that piece go? This was it to start. Just to give you an example, that's the old one that I cut out of there. You can see it's all dented in and corroded. So not too bad. I would say this is significant improvement. So get out, get yours done, get it welded in, get it ground flush, Bondo on, sanded, sand some more, and then paint it. Thanks, guys.